Hello, I'm Lynn Thurman, and you have joined me for the Inner Goddess interviews. I'm chatting with women who are following their passions and unleashing their inner goddesses on the world. And today I am really excited to welcome Karen Sealey. Karen is in the UK with me, and she is a master of tarot, an artist, a comedienne. She's multi-talented, and I'm so excited to talk to her. Welcome, Karen.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you. It's lovely to speak to you finally, kind of face to face rather than online. Yeah, let's chat.
Yeah, let's do this. Tell me about the tarot. First of all, I want to know all about your tarot business because, you know, I'm slightly obsessed with tarot sometimes as well. So how did you get started?
I got given a set for Christmas when I was about 18, I think. 18, 19, late 80s. Ooh, that's old. Basically I got given a, because I was always one of those people when people say, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, nothing, really. so I was always kind of difficult to buy for, so I ended up with getting this tarot set. And I kind of dabbled around with it a bit, and then when I was at uni, I ended up kind of reading, you kind of sit up all night, don't you, talking about life, the universe and everything, and I would kind of slide into kind of getting cards out and reading for friends, which was, they'd go, oh, how do you know that? And I said, because I've got a book, but then they kind of started bringing in, like, oh, because I know you, Then there was, like, introducing me to kind of friends of theirs who I'd not met, and it was like, how do you know that? And I was like, no, I don't know. So I kind of stepped back for quite a while, because I was kind of thinking, no, I don't know how I know this, and I was quite unsettled by that, so I kind of went right into the closet for quite a while with that, kind of in and out, and as well a lot of when I didn't know many people who read tarot. When I came across people, it was generally men who were very ruin, death, destruction type readers, and they kind of like to be dramatic, and so I'm thinking, I'm not entirely sure I want to kind of go down this route. This is a bit scary. So but I think really, so I've always kind of had it floating around, in and out of it, and then really when I started using it kind of daily was during doing Reiki. Because I did Reiki 1, and I was quite happy to do the kind of 40 minutes to an hour self-healing every day for 3 weeks. When it came to Reiki 2, and another 3 weeks of spending an hour, so I'm a little bit lazy, so we speed that up. So I'd got, at the time I got a copy of the Osho Zen Tarot, so instead of doing an hour every day, I would pick an area, spend 5 minutes, and pull a card to focus on. And then I found as I was working on people, I was getting tarot images in my head. So that took me back into tarot and reading a lot more with that. So and then it's rarely had my hands since then.
So when was that? When did you take the Reiki course?
That would be, let me think. That would be when my youngest started in nursery. So he would have been 3. He's 11, 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that when you started to like make it into a business as well, so you can reach more people?
Sort of. I'd started before. Late 90s, I retrained, and I did 2 years full-time holistic therapies and any other kind of intensive course that I could cram in while I was in that environment. So I did sports massage and counselling and teaching courses, everything I could cram in. And then basically I came out, and it's the only time in my whole life I've ever had this big plan and focus, and you know that phrase of, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your 5-year plan. So I'm starting my business, and then pregnant. Anything that life could throw at me, it threw in a kind of big solid block. So really, when I started doing the Reiki, that came from after my youngest was born. There'd been so many things go on in and around the family, you know, life things, but the intensity and the frequency was what was. So basically, I went to yoga initially. Because my health visitor basically wanted to medicate me. It's like, you know, you're not handling things, because I just want to go out. I didn't answer the phone because it was always something else that had happened. She said, "Oh, you need to." And I was like, "No, you're not drugging me." You know, she said, "Well, you need to be shown to be doing something functional." I said, "Well, I'll go to yoga once a week if you'll leave me alone." So that kind of got me back, back into my therapies. Meeting other people, into kind of meditation, and off into Reiki, back into tarot. Tarot's took me then into kind of art and writing. So it's mania management, I call it.
For people who don't know, Karen has been writing for my Soul Path magazine for well over a year, and your creativity with the tarot cards, it always astounds me. It's like, my God, how did you think of that? Where do you get your ideas from? Because they're just brilliant. People think of stuffy tarot readers, you know, like the ones you were describing with the book, and then you come along and you blow those concepts and those ideas completely out of the water. So, how?
I think because the thing for me is because I've come across so many things in tarot that I just really do not like, and there's so many cliches. It's not going into all that, but for me, it should be kind of accessible and living, and things that people. I think you should be able to kind of get people engaged without even realising that it's tarot, really. You know, just in that kind of. For me, it's just another word for life. So, with my tarot spreads, that's a good question, because I do kind of look at them and sometimes I don't remember that I've actually done it. It's like, did I write that? But generally, I start with the artwork and then I leave it somewhere prominent, and then I will find, once you're actually kind of set to work on something, there will be little things that will kind of pop up over like a week or so, whether it's in kind of people you meet or comments that come up, and they just kind of, you get a synchronicity where you feel as though you get the right information for what you need in that spread, for it to resonate, and that's as best as I can describe it, really. It's a very free flow, fluid process. But,
it works so well. I mean, it's refreshing to have such a fluid, creative spread. Sorry.
I was going to say, it was something that, because basically myself, generally when I read, I don't use spreads. So I will, if I'm reading for myself, because I think you need that subjectivity. But generally, if I'm reading for other people, it is very much a stream of consciousness and a random ramble. And when I came to like sitting down to design a spread, I thought, you know, there's too many spreads that I don't kind of. Not that I say that I don't like. They're not, like you say, they're not that inspiring. They're just, you know, it's past, present, future. You know, the card is 3 cards spread. You know, there's more. Yeah, there should be more that you can play with, I think. And it's, yeah, I like to play, basically.
You should create the Karen's way of tarot reading. You should make it into a book.
I've got to work out what it is first.
Doesn't matter, just make it up as you go along.
I did have an incident where I was Googling for something, and there was lots of images, and I thought, oh, I really like that image, and I kind of put, that's one of my pictures, and I just kind of, and I actually kind of looked at it, and I thought, well, I just kind of go back through all my notes. When did I draw that? When did I draw that? And there it was in my folders. So it is that kind of going to a strange place with artwork.
Where do you get your inspiration for your artwork?
I think, I don't know. It's just it feels as though it is just there, and certainly. When I was very small, I would get my hands on anything to make marks, and I got severe beatings for destroying bedrooms and things like that. So, I always get my things taken off me. And then I did art at school, and then basically because I was very good at sciences as well, there was a lot of kind of pressure with, you're not staying on at college to do art, you need to do something sensible, and you need to get a qualification, and you need to do science, and blah, blah, blah. And basically I just I think my kind of priority at that point was to get as far away from home as possible, and it was not that important how I did it, rather than getting out. So the path of least resistance was to do science and get away. But part of that is basically I stopped doing all my art, and it's only been relatively recent, 2.5, 3 years ago, and it's actually just come back with a vengeance. So I think you say, where's your inspiration? It's been locked away for a long time, and it's kind of popped out again.
You must feel happier and kind of relieved that it's all coming out, because that's a lot of art to keep inside, Karen.
It is. It's very much so. And things with writing as well, to be able to kind of write now. That at school, I hated it. I absolutely hated English. The fact that, it destroyed poetry, that you kind of sat and read a poem, and then the teacher would say, no, it means this. This is the syllabus answer. You need to say this in an exam. And I was thinking, you know what? You keep misinterpreting what I'm writing, and you see me every day, and you're telling me this person who you've never met, you know what goes on in their head. And those kind of constraints on things, they killed a lot of things off for me. That now I've kind of, I think with age, isn't it? I think you kind of get past 40 and you have that kind of attitude to things, that you just, you know what, let's just throw it out there, and if you don't like it, I don't care. So, but generally, it does seem to resonate with people, and I kind of find it interesting in that often it's the kind of very frivolous kind of things in your mind that you think that you just kind of put down without thinking about, that people really kind of latch on to. Whereas sometimes you think, I've really worked really hard at this, and I've kind of thought so much about it. It's like tumbleweed, kind of, and it does tend to be my kind of more just off the cuff things that kind of get thrown out that seem to have legs.
Do you think that people pick up on that kind of energy, the fun element, that you've just thrown something out, you haven't really put that much effort, or well, I'm not saying the effort, but much thought into it, you've just done it, it's gone, and it was fun and like frivolous, and people need that kind of energy? Do you think they pick up on that?
I think very much so. I do think that, and it is, I think, kind of, certainly within my kind of group of friends and people who've known me kind of a long time, it's like, we just really always love to know what you're going to do next. So, and certainly kind of, when I went into doing some stand-up comedy, it was kind of, why? What has that got to do with tarot? But it's life. It's just for me, tarot, art, writing, comedy, they're just all modes of expressing yourself and letting out your kind of personality on things. And certainly, I've kind of done a stand-up sketch that has actually been kind of reworked and written down in my blog. So you kind of I like to kind of hit things from different angles for slightly different audiences as well. But they're kind of the core, and stories. Universal, aren't they? It's like the stories change, the faces change, the stories are the same for everybody, I think. Overall.
So, how did you get into stand-up comedy? That's
stand-up comedy. That was basically an absolute annoyance with myself, because I talk so much. And but you kind of put me in the focus where I actually realise people are listening, and I would go, oh, I've got nothing to say. What do you want to do? And I'd kind of, I'd been asked to do a kind of talk for like small businesses on kind of ideas on, you know, just how I kind of brainstorm with your advertising. So I just went and made something up. That's how I do it. I'm quite good at making stuff up. But I kind of got there, and when obviously you're tarot reading, you've got a table in front of you, you've got things in your hands. When you're actually on a stage with a microphone and you're kind of stood full body and people can see you and every kind of eye is on you and you're kind of looking and you're like and it's just the initial point of kind of I'm on stage and people are looking at me and I know I need to be interesting. It just kind of spiraled me into such a horrible place that I thought, you know, I need to really, really kick this in the ass. And what is the kind of most extreme situation that I can think of to be public speaking, that if I master that, I'm not going to worry about anything else. Stand-up comedy. So it came up. I did a 10-week course, and the kind of the last week of that was a performance as part of the Leicester Comedy Festival. So yeah, I have no mic phobia now. I've been stood on stage, and I'm a sucker for punishment because I've actually just started another one for this year. But it kind of, I like the fact that when you kind of do, although it's what's got to do with tarot, for me it's about managing my creative flow. And I know this time of year, I hate it till about March. It's too dark. I don't want to do anything. So for me to structure in a course where I had to turn up every week, I've got prompts to write things. There's a framework that kind of, I'm looking at March, you know, February, March, rather than thinking, oh, it's December. So and it does, you know, they all kind of, my things all feed together. You know, inspirations all weave around, they kind of fractal in and out. Yeah, I'm just losing my voice now.
Wow, I can't think of anything more terrifying than stand-up comedy, actually. So wow, Karen, wow.
I know, I didn't think much of it really, because people saying like it was like that's really scary. But I was thinking in my head when I kind of like, you know, what is really scary? My kind of thing is, you know, will you die doing this? And yeah, I know Tommy Cooper kind of died on stage. I'm kind of thinking the chances are very, very, very tiny. And I think when you're kind of looking at doing something new and kind of getting out your comfort zone, when you actually look at your kind of take a risk assessment on it, it's no longer a risk because you kind of rationalise, you know what, basically, you know, I'm not going to die, hopefully not die on stage. But the thing is, you know, the majority of people in that room don't want to be stood where you are, so immediately you're kind of you're in a nice environment. People have gone there to be entertained. You know, also you can kind of you know, be a bit risque because they also want to be shocked a little bit. So you know, they've kind of come with their intentions, and they want to be entertained. So, you know, they want to like you already. So it's not when you kind of break it down. It's not that kind of, yeah, it's not that scary.
I will trust you on that one. Where are you performing? Are you?
They've just been kind of local things, and I was just kind of laughing because a lot of the things that they've just been kind of shortest stints, but actually comparing burlesque gigs. So that's another thing in the back of my mind is people say it's really scary. I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm the only person who gets to go on stage and keep their clothes on. And it kind of always amuses me that even the burlesque dancers don't want to do the comparing because they find that scary. I'm thinking, so it's all you know, it's all subjective, isn't it?
Yeah. So your next out of the comfort zone thing is actually the burlesque dancing, then. So we're gonna.
No, I'm just Just I do private dancing with the Mr. S, but I don't need a round of applause. It's a great thing. It's not my There are people who do it much better.
So what is next for you? What have you got apart from your comedy? What's coming up in the world of Karen? Or hasn't that been revealed to you yet?
I'm kind of at the minute. I'm really kind of trying to be a bit more focused with my art, because it's becoming a storage problem basically. Because I do so much, and my living room this living space is getting smaller and smaller as the things are building up around it. So I'm looking really at kind of being a bit more focused and trying to kind of get that out somewhere in some shape or form. And then kind of in the back of my mind, I've kind of got various little deck ideas, and they kind of I to and fro from them. I've kind of played around for quite a while. I started with a Lenormand deck a few years ago, and I kind of knocked it out. And then because I knew nothing about the kind of production of decks, I've kind of looked at it and I've not saved it in a way that's usable, and kind of go back to start from scratch with everything. So I have got a little Lenormand in the back of my mind that I'm kind of being more focused in. Actually, no, this needs to be kind of structured if you want to print it and things like that. And so I've got my Buracle that I kind of play around with, which I'm wondering whether or not I actually kind of want to do more with that little deck that I kind of made for entertainment. Yeah, I've got generally lots and lots of little bits of artwork in various stages of development that I'm hoping at some point will pull together. And then,
do you have a website where people can see your artwork, or
I've got a Facebook page, Pure and Blessed Art. There's not massive amounts of the stuff. I've not been that focused with it to date. But certainly going from my blog, you should be able to link to all my other places from with a bit of a snoop around. But yeah, writing in my head, it's one of those things. They should be kind of collected and put into some sort of structure. It is one of those things. When you do kind of lots of things, it's always like lots of plates spinning. You're totally involved in one thing while you're doing it, and you kind of, oh yeah, okay, let's go over there and do that. There's a kind of side of it that you feel as though you're never getting anywhere or getting anything done. And so it's kind of having to pause and look back to like a year ago or 2 years ago and see what's popped up. So yeah, I've got the Empress 2 to 3 years nurturing and tending and pruning going on.
So where's your main blog? Where can people reach you? And can they book tarot readings with you through there?
Yeah, on my blog, pureblessedtarot.wordpress.com, there's a bookings page and there's details and everything that's on the top of there. And then I'm on Facebook and Twitter, PB Tarot on Twitter. Yeah, I'm fairly easy to find. If you put Pure and Blessed in, you'll find me.
I'll leave a link for people as well. Thank you, thank you. Oh, when people book you, can they book you in person, and can they book you online? And do you do parties?
I do everything. Speak to me and tell me what you want, we'll sort it. Yeah, I do. A lot of the time I do kind of events, but I do parties, I do one-to-ones, I will do email, telephone, webcam, whatever's, me and the other person, how we want to work. I'm flexible.
Thank you so much for your time today, Karen. It has been a pleasure talking to you at last, because it's been so thank you. So that's Karen Sealey at Pure and Blessed Tarot, and our I'll put the links so you can find Karen, and you can book her in any shape and form, apparently, so that's brilliant. Yeah. And watch out for her artwork as well, because I'm sure she's going to get it together.
I hope so, because I can't move for it at the minute.
It would keep Mr. S happy, wouldn't it? If he could.
He's happy in his own little world.
Thank you again, and thank you so much for listening in to my Inner Goddess interviews. Until next time, bye-bye.